Hey everyone, Anthony Ruffalo, Certified Financial Planner here. One of the biggest questions that I get is, do I have enough money saved to retire, or how much do I need to save in order to retire? And the answer to that question, there's lots of rules of thumb. You need 10 times salary in a 401k, 20 times salary in your 401k, 30% of Social Security. You're going to live off 60% of 70% of your pre-retirement income. And the answer is it's subjective to you and your personal situation and what it is that you need. That's the real answer. There are no rules of thumb to determine that. So here's what I do. Here's the exercise that I walk my clients through when they come into a discovery meeting. I'm making this video to send this to clients now so you can work on this at home with your spouse. So here's the exercise. Imagine you are retired. Your mortgage is paid off because that's typically the largest consumer of cash flow in retirement, the largest expense. Mortgage is paid off. Kids are through college. You're living at home, and you just have your basic household expenses on a monthly basis. How much money do you need in your checking account in order to sustain your standard of living? And think about that for a number. Let that set in. What is that number? How much do you need on the first of every month in your checking account net after tax? When you come up with that number, then I can now get to work as a CFP and reverse engineer that number and determine how much you need to save, or do you have enough saved, subtract out Social Security or pensions or fixed income or installment payments or business income, and we put it all together in a package to understand exactly where all that income is going to come from. But the first step is, what is that number? Don't worry about gross income or what you're making now. I need that monthly net after-tax income when you're retired, and you need to layer in. So here's how to do it. You sit down with your spouse, and you go line by line by line by line, and you say, hey, this is what it's going to cost to run our household. This is what our car payment costs. This is what we spend on personal, miscellaneous fun or hobby or whatever that is. Some people might want to, I want to layer in $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year for traveling. We tithe $1,000 a month to our church. We want to gift money to our grandchildren when we're retired in order to fund college. Those are all very subjective goals, very subjective. They're very personal, and there's no right or wrong answer. It is what's important to you. For some people, that number might be 5,000, might be 7,000, might be 25,000. We don't know. But that's the very first step in the process, is one, let's get to that number. Once you have that number, then I can reverse engineer it, adjust it for inflation. Now, if you're 40 and you're asking me that question, the result is going to be, well, hey, this is what you need to be saving in your 401k or your IRA or your SEP or your various savings accounts, where it needs to be saving and how much you need to be saving to get you to where you want to go in 20 or 25 years. If you're 65 and you're asking me that question, well, it is what it is at this point. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to determine, hey, are you going to hit that number? Are you above it? Are you below it? What's sustainable? And try and identify some areas for improvement. Some people come in and they're surprised at how much they actually have when it comes to monetizing on a monthly basis and creating a paycheck from their retirement savings. And then two, the other part of that is in a 30-year retirement, statistically, the male is going to die first in retirement. So if we lost the husband in retirement, do you want to pass that same monthly net income along to your wife? What is that number? So let's say you come back and you say, Anthony, we need $7,000 a month to live on, and if we lost the husband in retirement, do you want to pass that same $7,000 a month in perpetuity, or should we drop that number down to say $6,000 because there's only one person alive and consuming? And again, that's a subjective answer. It could be the same. It could be the same. It's just, what do you want me to plan for? So we'll wrap it up. How much do you need on a net after-tax basis in retirement on a monthly? And then 2, do you want to pass that same number to your spouse if we lose one of you in retirement? And that's the beginning of the process. Thanks.